Hey everybody, this is the PixelBlips Podcast. I'm Andy Ryan. Joining me as always is Dave DeWert.
Yo.
Today we're just going to break stuff down. We're talking about what we've played this week. I've been playing a lot of Apotheon, which I hope I pronounced that correctly, which is a game for the PlayStation 4. It was free on Plus this month, and it is a Metroidvania in the style of a Greek pottery painting.
Yeah.
So the ancient Greeks used to chisel very ornate designs into pottery, and that is what Apotheon looks like. It's very cool, very good.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I played it for, I don't know, maybe an hour one day, and I don't know, I like it. I like the mechanics of it. I found that throwing things is probably the most efficient way to kill guys. Like if you have the javelins or whatever, because actually trying to run up on them is kind of goofy. Because don't you have to use the trigger buttons, right? You don't use face buttons to attack.
Yes.
So just throwing things at guys was always way easier. I think I beat like the first boss dude, the dude that was burning your village down, and then I got up into whatever that was called. Yeah, I got up into Mount Olympus, and that's pretty much where I stopped. But it was a pretty decent game, and for the low price of free, you can't complain.
Yes, it's very good. I love the design of it. Metroidvania is not like an entirely apt thing because it's not like it gates you with like, oh, here's a ledge that you need to learn the double jump to get to. It kind of says like, here's the world, go at it as you may. But the design of it is the first thing that is just very visually striking.
Yeah, and I thought it was a weird choice for Sony to release two games that are kind of similar mechanically, like just platform, like 2D platformers in the same month. Because we got Rogue Legacy for free, and then Apotheon came out this month, but
but they're not really the same, because Rogue Legacy, the more thing about it is the roguelike die, start over again, where Apotheon, it strikes me as much more of something along the lines of like Legend of Zelda 2, where you kind of just, it's an adventure game, whereas there's a plot, and there's things to do, there's a propulsive story, in air quotes. It's not a great story, but it's there, whereas Rogue Legacy is, you're this dude that is descended from other dudes, you're taking on this castle. Yeah,
and the castle changes all the time and all that. But it's just the 2D platformer thing was what kind of stuck with me as very the way in which you play the game is very similar. Now, granted, there's mechanical differences between them, and obviously every time your dude dies in Apotheon, he doesn't have different traits.
Yeah.
So,
and a part of that is that like we're still early in the PlayStation 4's life, so we're not going to get the retail AAA titles that we get on the PS3. We're still also we're not getting those AAA titles on the Vita even, because they just haven't, like, the people that hold the rights to those games haven't let go of them as much.
Well, yeah. And, we did get one AAA title last year for Christmas, and I'm not I like the last Mortal Kombat, but I'm just not a big fan of the DC version of Mortal Kombat that they released. It seemed a little unbalanced, and like with all the things that and things like that.
That's totally fair. But the one thing I did like about the last Mortal Kombat, when I played it, we talked about it a lot, was the story mode. And the story mode in Injustice, the DC fighter that they did, Injustice, is probably the best thing to come out of anything having to do with DC Comics since The Dark Knight. It's the most interesting thing, definitely.
So mean. Why are you hating on DC all the time?
Yeah, the new 52, and now the new 52, and all this stupid, crazy crap. They basically, anytime Marvel sells more than DC does for an extended period of time, Warner Brothers tells DC to reboot its line, to give it a shot in the arm, which, whatever. Part of the thing with Marvel is that there's a history there, so.
Yeah, that sounds like they're taking their
what have you been playing
from Nintendo.
Yes.
I've been playing a lot of Heroes of the Storm this last 2 weeks. And
that's the World of Warcraft Dota clone, right?
It's all of Blizzard's universes, but yes, it is a Dota-esque game. It's a little bit more simple than Dota or League of Legends. You don't have items that you have to buy. You don't have to go back to town. You don't gain gold. Your team levels up as a group instead of individually. So it's a little bit more accessible. It's a little bit more faster paced. You know, like your average game in a league will run between 30 to 45 to over an hour. Han games I've seen go for like an hour and a half. The Heroes of the Storm games, I very rarely see one that goes more than 30 minutes. So it's a little bit less a time consumption, and it's still like in beta, so they're still adding like small features, like they're increasing the size of spectator groups, so you can have more than just 2 people watch your game. They keep adding new characters in and whatnot, and when the game is eventually like finally released, it'll be a free-to-play game. And right now they are taking real money if you wanted to buy champions and packs and skins and things like that. But you know, with League and Dota, you can unlock champions, you know, with in-game currency. So it's pay with your time or pay with your wallet. And the way that they do the hero rotations are kind of, you know, it's a weekly thing. You know, every week, you know, 5 or 7 new champions become available, and you can test them. And you know, if you own certain Blizzard games, you may get a free champion. Like I have the Demon Hunter from Diablo because I own Diablo 3. Like that.
I still need to get Diablo 3 for my
for the PS4.
PlayStation. Yeah.
Yeah, I played a little bit of, like, I downloaded the demo of it when it was on the PS3, and it works. Like, I was surprised as how well Diablo really works on the console. I think part of that is because they gave a tumble to everybody, whereas in the PC version, the Demon Hunter has a tumble. But I think, like, the Demon Hunter's special ability tumble actually does damage or something. But it really does work out fairly well on the console, and I'm glad that Blizzard is kind of like trying to expand their audience and step away from the realm of the PC a little bit. And I know they started out, you know, with Silicon and Synapse back in the day, and they were making, you know, Blackthorn and the Lost Vikings and Rock and Roll Racing and all that, but they've pretty much been on the PC since, you know, Warcraft. But I've also, you know, after I beat Link Between Worlds, I picked up Super Mario 3D Land, and my wife has actually been loving it. Good job.
So it's a Mario game. How can you not love it?
Yeah, and she's been playing more of it than I have. Like I left my DS at home, and she was like 3 worlds further, and I'm like, "What? Okay, fine. If you'll play that, that's cool. I'll just start my own profile, so I don't have to like get spoilers or anything." But yeah,
I don't know that there's that many spoilers in a Mario title, but okay.
No, but I think I had heard that there's a second set of worlds after you beat the initial 8. And maybe I'm thinking of like New Super Mario for the DS or New Super Mario for the DS2 or something like that. But I want to say that those 8 worlds don't seem like they would take that long to pound through, and then if they gave us another 8, then that would add a lot of like replayability or extended playtime onto it. So, but it seems kind of fun. I like a lot of the mechanics, the little purple boxes where it's like, oh, you have to, you know, get all the coins in the 45-second timer or something like that. So. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. I played Rogue Legacy here or there, but I played a lot of it when I was on the PC. I played Rogue Legacy like a fiend when it first released on the Vita, and now I have like no interest in it anymore. Well, and it was
I ended up playing it for like 20 hours total. Yeah. I loved that game.
Well, and I've been trying to do the cross-save feature, and for some reason, I haven't gotten it to work. And I don't know if because you can't cross-save with like the PS3 and the PS4 and the Vita. Like, I don't know.
It worked really easy between the Vita and the PS4 for me.
Okay, so maybe that's what it was. Because I played on the PS4, and then I tried playing it on the Vita, and I never got my cross-save. So maybe I just need to try it again. And now that I've played on all 3 consoles, I'll pick up somewhere. If not, I'll just.
I think they do need to like standardize where that cross-save is, because sometimes you have to like go 3 menus deep before you even start the game to like go, okay, download my cross-save from the server.
Yeah, well, and I think with Rogue Legacy, you can make it automatically update and download the save. Just whenever you start it up, it should automatically do it. But
I think that's what it did for me.
So I haven't gotten
check the cloud
into it.
So. Let's see what else. Oh, I beat Suikoden 2, which the ending kind of let me down a little bit on. So I feel like I really do like Suikoden 3 more, and I'm justified in that. So. But after that, I've now moved on to Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together, which is amazing.
Yeah?
Like, in every sense of the word. Yeah, I'm still in Chapter 1, and it's amazing. It's the best version of a strategy RPG that you could ever want. Like, the story's deep. They throw a lot of, like, strange names at you, like, off the top. Like, they just expect you to know, but there's an in-game It's called the Warren Report, which is kind of funny to me. But it's basically a breakdown of like all of the terms from in-game and everything, and like an in-game lore book. And unlike Final Fantasy 13, which also did the same thing, where it threw a bunch of lore at you and expect you to dig through stuff, the writing is good enough and snappy enough in the Warren Report that it's just like, okay, that's who this person is next. That's who this person is next.
You don't have
so it's good.
You don't have the Tolkien version of it. You have the Cliff Notes version of it.
Yeah, and the art is wonderful in it, from both all the way down to the in-game kind of Final Fantasy Tactics esque pixel guys in the battle, which were originally on the Super Nintendo, that they've spruced up, and then also the portraits look amazing, and it's wonderful on the Vita. Is
this a PSP game, a Vita game, or like a PS1?
PSP game.
Okay.
PSP.
Because I knew it was one of those.
Yeah, after Christmas they had it on sale, so I bought it and Trails in the Sky and a bunch of other stuff.
For like $10.
And it's great. It's good. I also can't wait to get to Trails in the Sky, just because I've heard so many people say like it's one of the greatest RPGs that isn't about swords and sorcery, but kind of is. Like, the one person that I really respected said that it's a return to Final Fantasy VI. So I was like, okay, I'm down with that.
But there was swords and sorcery robots in that.
Well, yeah, but it's like Final Fantasy VI is like steampunk. Trails in the Sky is like steampunk. There's zeppelins and everything, but people still use staffs and staves or whatever they are, and maces and swords and stuff. So I'm looking forward to it.
That seems cool.
So that's pretty much what I've been doing. I re-downloaded a bunch of stuff on my PlayStation 3 just because I was on my PlayStation 3 yesterday for some reason, and was like, yeah, I do want to finish Yakuza 4. Yeah, I do. I want to play through Demon's Souls. Yeah, I should probably finish Tales of Symphonia 1 and Tales of Symphonia 2. And, oh yeah, I bought Tales of Graces F. I should probably get to that.
Yeah.
So the good news is I am like swimming in games. I just have to pick my next one.
Or is it still downstairs?
It's still downstairs because it's our since the Blu-ray, the Bluetooth remote for Blu-rays and DVDs doesn't work with the PlayStation 4. Sony, get on that. My wife likes it to stay downstairs. So she would rather use the PlayStation 3 for movies than the PlayStation 4 because she doesn't want to finagle with the controller.
Oh, okay. I mean, I get that, but we just use the PS3 controller at my house, so.
Well, yeah, but
I mean,
different strokes, different folks.
Our PS3 is both of our PS3s have been relegated to the realms of, hey, you're a fancy Blu-ray player.
Yeah, well, it plays a lot of good games, and I thought about the other day, next year we're coming up on the 10th anniversary of the PlayStation 3, and there's still software coming out for it at a very steady clip. So
yeah. Well, and there's still the install base on the 360 and the PS3 is still really, really big, and they're still somewhat viable machines. Now, granted, you're not going to see, I don't think you're going to see, like the sequel if it's not already coming out on the PS3. I don't think you're going to see it, The Witcher 3, or definitely not The Witcher 4. Like, I don't think you're going to see that.
But like Persona 5 is going to have a PS4 and a PS3 version.
Well, yeah, because the install base for both of those is big, and they know they're going to sell a ton of those.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that when it comes out. But like a good for instance is like, what big name PS2 game came out in 2010?
I don't remember.
Like, what big name PS1 game came out in 2004? So I think like the PlayStation 3 making it to 10 years, having that 10-year life cycle is worth a little bit of a pat on the back. Same thing with the Xbox 360, which it's 10 years. It's going to come up here at the end of this year. So
yeah, so it's both those consoles have been around for a while, and both those consoles sold really, really well. So nobody can say that those two consoles were ever a flop. Now, they didn't sell like Wii well, but
well, yeah, but the Wii. I mean, what game's coming out on the Wii? When was the last time a Wii game came out? Like I think like Kirby Collection came out in 2011, I think.
Yeah.
So there's the difference.
Yeah, no, I know.
Or 2012.
And the Wii U, and it's really not doing great. So.
Like the last time I think we had a system with a solid 10-year lifespan was probably the NES. So.
And I was gonna say, isn't Pierce Solar coming out on the Dreamcast? Who says that console's dead?
There was a
gotten
new
yours,
Dreamcast
right?
game released, so.
Yeah.
No, I haven't gotten mine yet. They're having problems with the Dreamcast since they obviously can't patch it post. They're having problems with it, so. But good luck to those guys. I can't wait to play that game. Anyway, one thing I did want to hit up. We did mention last time about Hardcore Gaming 101. We were talking about it as if it was one dude. It is not one dude. There are many people on that website. They all deserve a pat on the back. They are all the Ken Burns of video games.
Ken Burns is
and they are doing something very important. They deserve your money. They have a Patreon. If you want to donate to their Patreon, feel free. I don't. I donate to them by buying all their books. So, but that's just because I don't have money for a Patreon. So, I probably would if I could. But I did want to say that we wanted to be sure that everyone knew that there are many people at that website that contribute that all write to a very high standard, and they all deserve a pat on the back. And this is our time once again to plug. You should go to Hardcore Gaming 101. I wanted to mention that I forgot to mention last time. They do this thing called your weekly kasoge, which kasoge in Japanese means shit game, so a really crappy game. And they really dig deep into both the mainstream stuff that came over here in the United States and some esoteric older Japanese games. But it's everything from like the really shitty, I don't remember if it was Dick Tracy or Who Framed Roger Rabbit, to like crazy Japanese games that you've never heard of. So please go to their website.
Yeah, I checked
and we'll be back in a bit. Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'll see. I was gonna say I checked that website out, and there's a lot of stuff there. Like it's more
there
than
is
that you showed me. So there's a ton of stuff.
It is awesome. You feel free to dive deep.
Yes.
But we'll be back.